Okay, we got another cringe comment to talk about. Admittedly, this one isn't that bad, but I still think it needs to be highlighted because I just get so tired of talking about things that bother me, and people just have to come in and say, well, actually, you're wrong. No, I'm right. I'm sorry. I'm right on this one. When people on Discord groups wholesale ignore other people on the server who are looking for some sort of acknowledgement, that's a shitty behavior. And it needs to be addressed. And all these people seem interested in doing is defending that and saying, well, actually, they don't owe you anything. As if not doing the wrong thing is okay, when really they should be doing the right thing. You know, there's a difference. And it's just annoying because it embroils people in these petty duels that are so avoidable. You know, it's kind of like the Black Lives Matter movement and the All Lives Matter movement. The Black Lives Matter movement is trying to say Black Lives Matter too. Not only Black Lives Matter, but some people who claim to be for equality just have to get in the way and say, well, actually, all lives matter, so you should be saying, dude, if you care about equality, why are you getting in the way? It's the same thing with this. If you really care about people, why are you getting in our way when we're trying to point out a serious problem? Anyway, let's get into the comment. That's not shitty behavior depending on the context. It actually is. If you're a member of a community, the community should be acknowledging you. Maybe not everybody at once, but come on. If there's over 100 people in the server that are online at the moment, why cannot one of them acknowledge you? And why is this persistent over several groups? That's why you're stretching here, and I don't think you get it. I'm assuming you're talking about little remote internet friend groups, acquaintances and strangers. Sometimes people want nothing to do with the vent channel because maybe they have their own stuff on their plate and they don't want to go looking at reminders of their problems, as well as a bunch of people struggling that they literally can't help. First of all, they could have helped. A lot of time, they could have brainstormed a solution. They could have just given me someone to talk to, which is a major step up from what I had and what would have really helped, because I just felt alone a lot. And I also have to point out that, yeah, a lot of these points are valid, but you seem to be missing one thing. Sometimes. Is this a sometimes problem? Because it's an always problem. Across multiple servers, multiple groups, I have felt dismissed like this. It's almost unheard of for me to actually get acknowledgement from what I'm going through. Usually it's just people ignore, and it's not just a one-time thing, it's repeated. So don't tell me that everybody in every server I've been through is going through so much that not even one of them could have acknowledged me. And then you make it sound like, they don't mean bad, they just don't know what to say. Except that clearly they know what to say, because when other people talk about problems, they support them. So why not me? Why can't I get support ever, but they get support all the time? That's kind of unfair. Not saying I don't deserve the support, but come on, you got to throw me a bone once in a while too. And then there's the fact that, what was I saying? Like, there's support. There's also the fact that they get defensive when you call them out. You know, because a lot of times when after like the 5th or 6th time, I just say, stop ignoring me. Acknowledge my existence. This ain't right. And then people always just get defensive. They never say, we're sorry, we should do better, you don't deserve it. No. Oh, well, people are busy, as if that justifies literally everyone ignoring me. And then turning around and acknowledging everyone else. They know what they're doing. And it's a major problem. Maybe you haven't seen human nature like I have, but this is not just a misunderstanding. They know what they're doing. Same thing with film fiction. They knew what they were doing when they vote bombed, because they doubled down on it when called out on it. Instead of saying, we're sorry, we didn't know, this is affecting you. No, they doubled down. They know what they're doing. Don't give them that much credit to where they're just ignorant. That's a really stressful and powerless feeling sometimes, and it's kind of why vent channels exist. Well, what do you think's a stressful and powerless feeling too? Being ignored when you need support most. It's, again, no one ever thinks about us. No one ever thinks about the guy on the receiving end of this. No one, in the words of the Joker, no one ever thinks what it's like to be the other guy. And I'm not the only one who's dealt with this. In this comment section of this video, multiple people have said this. I felt ignored and no one cares. This is a chronic problem, but you'd rather attack us and shoot the messenger than listen to us. Internet acquaintances are not trained therapists or a reliable support network. They're usually just a random collection of young people who are in that space for some other shared purpose. I'm not asking for a personal therapist. I'm not asking for acknowledgement. One's unreasonable. One is absolutely reasonable. Come on. Really not even one. As I said before, I'm not going to go into too much detail because I already said this, but Not even one person could acknowledge my existence, because that's BS. In a server of 100 people, that is a BS claim, and I will call you out on it every single time. Very likely they may feel for you and want to help. Well, I don't know about that if they get defensive. But they literally have no idea how to. There's this thing called asking. What do you want me to do? How can I help you? That way you put the ball in my court and understand what I want. But instead of asking, they just give me the silent treatment. So again, you're giving them too much leeway. You don't get it. I know people are afraid to give advice because of the sentiment like in this video, and people are afraid to give sympathy because not everyone reacts well to that either. Okay, I will agree with you on that. I've dealt with toxic people at the poker table who get butthurt when you try to defend them against bullies. It's like, dude, what the heck? You're going to turn on me and attack me? Really, I think they need a good bop in the nose to humble them a little bit. And second, like, it makes it unlikely for where you want to speak up, because all anyone ever does is, like, do you know, are they going to say thank you? Are they going to say nothing? Are they going to attack you and make you feel worse to where it's like, why did I even speak up in the first place? You know, just let them suffer because they clearly deserve it because they're miserable people. So that is a problem, but it's still not an excuse to not ask what's going on. And not everyone reacts that way. So, you know, come on, guys. It's still not an excuse to ignore us chronically over multiple servers. If we are talking about actual friends and support groups, very presumptuous of you to assume I have friends and that support groups give a frick. I've been in multiple support groups and they do the same exact thing. Open communication can go a huge way for both sides to understand better what everyone needs. Exactly. Open communication, but there's no communication because these people stonewall me. And before you say what I know someone's going to jump out of the work and say, why don't you go to therapy? First of all, why should I have to pay for therapy because other people suck? Why should I have to put myself out for a them problem? Why can't they just change to be better? You know, and it's if they don't, the therapy is only going to be a Band-Aid on the problem, because I'm going to get out of therapy, I'm going to still be ignored, and then I'm going to have to go back. Second of all, therapists suck, okay? A lot of times they just don't listen to you. They only care about the money. And whenever you try to talk about things that you're clearly in the right, like people gaslighting you, ignoring you, just dismissing you, they always try to find some way to be like, well, what did you do? No, I don't want to hear what I did. Okay, that's like, it's the same thing as if someone gets assaulted and they say, this really traumatized me. Well, but weren't you asking for it because you wore a short skirt? Fuck you. Like, come on. You're really that stupid? And it's sad because a lot of people would fall for that shit. I'm stubborn and smart, and I know that you're full of crap. But a lot of people can really be messed up by that, by being convinced they're the bad guy when they did nothing wrong. And it's the same thing here. When people dismiss me and ignore me, like my own family, and again, it's another point. If I wanted to be dismissed and ignored and made to feel like I'm the bad guy when I'm clearly the good guy, I would talk to my family. I could do that for free. Why would I pay for a therapist? But did people, like, they just don't get it. Like, no one ever listens. It's just always, they try to blame me. I talk about how my parents have, like, tried to basically say, well, if you don't let us in your room because we came even though you told us not to, we're going to stop paying for your college. Blackmail, and people take their side. I don't see how wrong that is. My parents basically say, well, you should have tried harder in friendships where people literally degraded to the point where they wouldn't even acknowledge text messages. So there's literally nothing more I can do. But apparently it's my fault because reasons that I can't even come up with mental gymnastics. You know, things like that where you're clearly in the right, these people just find some way to act like you're in the wrong. So why would I go to people like that? Again, this is a serious problem. And this person's not egregiously insulting. There definitely are some. And for those, I think I'm not even going to censor them because I think these people are on a public forum need to be freaking called out. But, like, this person doesn't get it. They don't get how persistent it is. They don't get how much it affects us. They don't think of the other guy. And you're getting in the way of progress. This is an issue that needs to be addressed. People need to stop stonewalling and start being more supportive. And this is never going to happen if we have to keep fighting off you people who apparently think you're doing the right thing and who should be backing us up, but instead you do this crap. Ugh, I'm rolling my eyes so hard.